The main change is that digital obviously can come from any country. So with traditional mass media, you knew very clearly which copyright laws applied because of which country you were in. Now it's a bit more of a minefield. So America has fair use provisions, which means you can use more material than you can in Australia. So it can mean that an Australian writer can use American material more freely than they can Australian material. So it can be a minefield. Most of the time, as long as you're taking a certain percentage, say 5–10% of a literary work or publication, it's okay as a rule of thumb. But people are very sensitive around use of images because for photographers, it's their sole livelihood. Whereas for words, spreading a little bit of the work can actually act as promotional, can be useful for the original maker. So it's it's a minefield. It's something to be aware of, but the actual law hasn't changed. What's changed is that we're exposed to many more sets of conflicting laws. It's generally fine to do a quote of, say, up to 400 or 500 words is generally okay, as long as you put in quotation marks and link back to the original site. That's generally considered permissible because you're taking a sample of the writing and then linking back to the author's original site. Sometimes people might kick up a fuss, but most of the time that's acceptable. So that's just best practice. So short excerpts and linking back to the site. For images, it's a bit more complicated. Often an image circulates online and you don't know who the original maker is. So what you need to do then is run a reverse Google search on the image and find out ideally who took the picture to begin with and ask them if you can use it on your site. Sometimes they will have it available as a Creative Commons image, which means that anyone can use it as long as it's attributed. Other times it will be a commercial photographer who would like to be paid for the right to use that image. So the key thing with social media is just attribution. So if you copy something and then paste it as your own words, that means you're breaching copyright. But if you quote someone, put it in quotation marks and link back to where it originally came from, then that's generally okay because you're sort of borrowing a small percentage of it to discuss it.